Blighty Boxing in association with Frank Warren and Queensbury Promotion, here for a little catch up with the Guvnor. So just to bring ourselves up to date, we saw Martin in full protective gear on Friday night at the BT studio. Martin, in all your days in boxing and throughout your years, did you ever think you'd be wearing a visor in the corner?
No, I never thought that, and I would imagine lots of people in other industries thought the same, but luckily enough, because of all the hard work that was done at the office, I mean, I've got to tip my hat to Andy Ayling, who put a great effort in and set everything up. Then the board of control for allowing everything to go forward and checking everything was up to scratch. I mean, we had a great evening. The actual setup in the hall was second to none. I mean, it might have looked a little bit sterile, but it wasn't. There was an atmosphere in the actual arena when we walked in, and it was really, really good. So,
you made a point there about Andy. He's sort of, I mean, apparently his attention to detail and everything else apparently is second to none.
Well, it was spot on, I must say, and everyone adhered to the rules and everyone played the game, and it was from where I was sitting, I thought it was a great night.
Now you got your other heavyweight out on the night.
Yep.
That must have been a real pleasing thing for you, because it's been a long flat road for Dorian, and there hasn't been too much going on for him. No,
it really has, but a lot of fighters have that same route. You know, they get to this country or they're even from this country, they're good fighters in their own right, and they just can't get out because of the shows and the way things are, the setup at the moment. But hopefully this will change a few things, and we'll get some other boys out, and we'll get to see some boys that we may not have seen.
I mean, you can kind of understand it. I mean, I'm not sure how well a novice British heavyweight would fare in the Ukraine. It's sort of
it's
one of them
perfectly understandable.
In a sport that relies on ticket sales, isn't it? So.
No, but also you get that in England. You get good fighters who are English, and they don't always get out, don't always get seen, and then by the time their time comes, they might have run their course and fell out of love with the sport, which happens. You know what I mean?
I mentioned early on to one of the boys, but do you think the fact that he didn't blast his opponent out might actually work in his favour when with other people, matchmakers and everything looking at him?
Well, there is that, but like the way we look at it here, and hopefully like the public who are following the boxing look at it, we already know he can punch. All right, he never stopped him, but over 6 rounds, no disrespect to him, he probably would have. It was a big occasion. It was a big occasion for him. He hasn't boxed for a long while, and unless you're an active fighter, when I use this word, I don't use it lightly. You haven't got that killer instinct, as in to finish, because you're in the gym all the time, you're sparring all the time. I'm not saying you're getting a sparring partner's mentality, but your finishing is different. When you're out and it's live all the time and you're fighting regular and you are a prospect, you get a different feel about what your work, and you know how to finish. And unfortunately, or fortunately, Dorian didn't really know how to finish that night, but that's the experience that we needed, and that's what he was there for. So I'm happy with the performance. I thought he boxed well. I thought probably threw too many hooks, but so what? He won. We can all be critical, but he done a good job. I thought he showed a good variety of punches. Defensively, he didn't have to do too much, and again, that's no disrespect to the other boy. That's just because Dorian boxed quite well. I'm happy. We're all happy.
Talking of experience, now you've got the first one of these shows under your belt. You've seen how it works. You've walked it through with Dorian. You're back there on the 25th, I think it is.
Yep.
With a few boys, actually.
Yeah, I think we go back in on the Wednesday, actually.
Yeah, back into the
bubble,
into the fight arena.
Yeah.
Now we've got a few good little fights there, and the first one, the one that's caught everyone's attention, is Chris Bourke against Ramez Mahmood for the Southern Area Super Bantamweight title. Now, people think this has got good scrap written all over it.
I totally agree, and I think it's a gateway fight for both of them. I think they're both going to be bringing their A game. I mean, I know Chris will be ready, and he's, without blowing smoke up his arse, he's our fighter. So obviously we're gonna think that of him. But he's looking good. He's done everything right, and he's had good sparring. I hope the other boys had the same, because we want to see the best person go through.
Have you had a good look at Ramez?
Yeah, I've looked at him, but like everything, he's not going to be fighting Chris on the night, is he? So it's no good looking at him with other opponents and comparing the opponents that he's been fighting to Chris, because obviously I think Chris is a different level to the opponents that he's been fighting, so we can't judge him on that. You know, he'll open up on the night and he'll figure it out, because Chris is a box fighter.
Obviously you'll say we've got to get this one out of the way, but Chris said early on, but he would happily jump in with Brad Foster now, who's the British and Commonwealth champion. He's just won it outright. Where do you stand on that?
Listen, ask any fighter and they'll pick the best fighter in their division and say, I'll jump in with him. You know.
But how far off do you think he is from?
We'll know after this fight.
Yeah.
Like there's no point in talking about that fight. He had a great fight the other night. You know, I don't want to talk other fighters down. I want to talk our fighter up without doing that. Ask any fighter. They'll say they'll fight the best person in their weight division or even the weight above, because they're fighters. But this is a journey, and Chris is on a journey, and this is the first run on the next level, you know, and for the other boy.
Another one on a journey, Louie Lin, who's joined you relatively recently. He looks a real handful and really entertaining to watch. He's fighting a 9-1 opponent, Monty Ogilvie. Is that the ideal fight for him?
Well, obviously, I would say yes. Jason, who's the matchmaker, he's looked here and he's called that fight on. I've got total faith in Jason. I don't really have to do too much homework. After he says to me, Mark, what do you think? I normally reply back, what do you think? You're the matchmaker. And we go from there. But I think it's a good match. I think Louis is very exciting, very entertaining, and he comes in here, he's a bundle of energy. As I've said to you before, he's like an English Johnny Tapia, because he don't stop when he's looking for the next thing to do, and everything he does it with full energy. He's like a young kid, you know, like a kid that don't realise they're going to save a bit of energy for later. He just gives you 100%, and I love that about him. You
have talked about, in the early on, about slowing him down a bit.
We're trying.
Are you having any luck with that?
We're trying. We're trying. We're trying, but that's his character. Yeah. Listen, you wouldn't want to break anyone's spirit or take anything away from anyone that they bring to the table. You know what I mean? All we can do is tweak it and work on it. Like it's like training any fighter. They all bring something to the table, and you just have to look at that and just see if you can tweak it a little bit. You don't want to break it. You just want to bring it along.
By the way, before I move on to Denzil Bentley, who just come into my head. What did one of your grandchildren say about you in your visor when she saw you on, or he or she saw you on television?
Actually, he said I thought he looked like Dubois when he had the baby.
Yeah, Damien.
Yeah, when he had Damien. Yeah, so which I thought was quite funny. Yeah.
Denzil, Mick Hall, quite a seasoned middleweight. I think he's about 34.
Yeah. I think he's only lost to two to the same person. Is that right? Yeah, good fighter.
34 years old, so he's going to know his way around.
Listen, again, when I say this, it sounds like you know sitting on the fence a little bit. I'm not. These boys need rounds. It's all right. We know they can punch. They can all punch, but can they box and can they do the rounds? And we're going to find out or not us personally, because we already know this about Denzil's game. He's got an inch and he's got a boxing brain. But a lot of the public who hopefully are following him don't know that he can actually box. Don't know that he's actually slippery. He's got good moves, great angles. So hopefully this will bring it out of him and we get the win. It's a good fight, you know, he's fighting a seasoned pro, and again it's a great match. We're very lucky. Jason's, you know, I don't want to keep saying about Jason, but he's worked really hard, tried to get Denzil a title fight, and it just wasn't to be. So, you know, that's the stage we're at with Denzil.
Well, that'll come. I mean, he's an exciting fighter who people are going to want to see. So in these things won't take too long, I wouldn't have thought. No,
I wouldn't have thought so, 'cause he's got a character and all, you know what I mean? He is a nice kid, and he's got a nice way about him. He's always smiling, he's happy, you know, so there's a lot he's got to offer.
I'll take you on to Daniel Dubois, who's on the 5th show, on show 5. Now he's fighting a guy called Eric Pfeiffer from Germany.
Yeah.
When it comes to interim fights, people probably think a little bit of a knockover job. Now this Eric Pfeiffer, as well as being 7-0 as a pro, he's had something like 11
I think he's been to two Olympics.
2 Olympics, yeah.
He's done a bronze in the world. Listen, he's a very good fighter. Dan knows him, we've spoke about him, we're aware of him. But look,
It's a proper fight.
It's a real fight, and you know, hopefully, please God, it ain't a banana skin. You need challenges for these boys, otherwise they're going to go stale. And you know, like I said, Dan had 5 fights last year, and he had one to me which was a gimme, which was not a gimme, but which was well within his compass, I should say. He Fujimoto, the last one of the year, but we don't want to do that again. You know what I mean? That ain't what Dan's about. He's not a bully. He don't want to be turning up at fights and we know he wins. He needs them butterflies. He needs that excitement. You know, he's a real fighter, and hopefully we'll see that with him. This is a challenge. This is not just a making time fight. It's a real fight. It's 7-0 with that great pedigree he's got. Oh, he's 33.
Yeah, 34. Yeah,
33, 34. So he's a mature man. You know, like which years ago you would have said, you know, it's a good age for an heavyweight. They mature late, and you know, all things change. And Dan's up for it. We've got to get the right sparring in, and we'll be all right. Yeah, I think that's where we are.
Is it the case? I know you're going to probably hate these sort of questions, but is it almost the case that Daniel's kind of preparing for 2 fights at once, because this fight's been slotted in before a fight, but we already know about, and a big fight at that?
You could answer that 2 ways. I'm going to answer it this way. No, not really, because we still don't know that fight is definitely on. So in Dan's mind, he focuses on one thing and one thing at a time. Listen, we know we've got that really a fight that everyone wants to see. We want, like as in a team, we want it. Dan wants it, but we can't control that. They've got a date set for that fight. Please God, it happens, and it's the fight that everyone wants it to be. But we can only concentrate on one job. So no, we're not really getting ready for 2 fights, even though in the back of our mind somewhere there's a bigger opportunity. No, it's not to say this ain't a good fight though. This is a real fight. Just
finally, I mean, obviously this COVID-19's changed a lot of things. You've still got a shut gym here.
Yes.
You're currently building a gym closer to home, shall we say?
In the garden.
In the garden. So, I mean, are we
in Tony's garden actually?
Yeah. Are we officially in a transition period now in terms of the future of this place and your new gym?
I think we're in a transitional period across the board. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with gyms. We don't know.
But very hard to modernise this place to. This buzzword to make it COVID secure. No, there's not much you can do there, is there?
It's too real here. You know, so this is a unique environment, like most boxing gyms are. You have to be in close contact with people because that's the sport. Which I don't know.
But essentially, the fact you're building a state-of-the-art gym at home suggests, but you.
Well, we was already doing that.
Of course you were, but ultimately you're going to be. We're
going to be based there,
across,
but you know, hopefully there's always a presence in Canning Town. Obviously, this is where we was born. You know, we love this area, and we've got lots of friends and family, and you know, it means a lot to us. And we've got a lot of history, so we wouldn't want it not to be here. It's just that
there's not much we can do.
There's not much we can do at the moment. Yeah. You know, like every business, our hands are tied, and we'll just have to see how we come out of this pandemic.
Martin, thank you very much for all the updates.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.